Hello, 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 my friends. Caitlin here, and do you know your love languages? So this was a subscriber suggestion from KT1419, and I felt like it was really timely because my boyfriend and I actually talk a lot about love languages and try to make sure that we're getting the appropriate amount and kinds of affection that we need. Because both of us have had previous relationships where we were not speaking the right love languages to one another, and it was causing miscommunication and chaos and just general misery. Now your first question might be, but Caitlin, what the heck are love languages? I've never heard of them. And that's a totally relevant question. So, The 5 Love Languages, How to Express Heartfelt Commitment to Your Mate is a 1995 book by the counselor Gary Chapman. And it talks about how we express and experience love, which he calls love languages. I know about this because it's very heavily talked about in the Christian community. And I worked for a Christian counseling education company that references this book and Chapman a lot. According to Chapman, there are 5 love languages. Receiving gifts, which means you thrive on the love, thoughtfulness, and effort that goes into the gesture of gift giving. Quality time, which is how receiving the full, undivided attention of your partner makes you feel special. Words of affirmation, which is proof that for some people, words do speak louder than actions. Acts of service or devotion is how your partner can make common chores sexy by easing the burden of responsibility on you. And physical touch, which is relatively self-explanatory, but it's not all intimate, sexy time touch. It's also about thoughtful touches that give you a sense of security and belonging. Per Chapman's theory, we all have one primary and one secondary love language. Mine are quality time and acts of service, and my boyfriend's are words of affirmation and physical touch. So while love languages have a bit of a pseudoscience feel to them because they're based on Chapman's observations from his own counseling practice, there has been some research to test their validity, and I've got a link down in their description for that. But if nothing else, it has the same kind of aura of making you feel seen that other psychometrics like the Myers-Briggs type indicator or the Enneagram give you. I like to look at my results from all kinds of different personality tests in order to get a better understanding about myself and then kind of piece together the insights that they give me, but to each their own. I do like love languages though because it focuses on interpersonal communication, and it's set up for couples, but it really does work for any kind of relationship you have. So if you want to know your love language, you can take the quiz on my website, which I've linked down below, and it is free. You can also kind of figure it out on your own by thinking about how you express love to others, and then also what you've complained about not getting enough of from your friends or family or a partner. Like near the end of my relationship with my ex, I was really starved for quality time, which is my primary love language. He stopped spending really any time with me that didn't involve a phone or TV or video game in between us. So while he might have been physically present, I wasn't getting the kind of emotional presence that I needed in order to be fulfilled and happy. I actually took the quiz after that experience and was like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And in the relationship I'm in now, I try to be really mindful of the fact that one of my boyfriend's love languages is words of affirmation, whereas mine is acts of service. So to me, I feel loved when someone does something for me, and that's also how I tend to express love. However, he needs verbal communication and affirmation of my affection, so small positive comments go a long way for him. It's not as important of a love language to me, so I didn't really think about it or really do it with previous partners. But since we had that conversation about how important affirming words are for him, then I try to speak my affection for him more and to tell him when I'm proud of him and stuff like that. The whole idea is that you're going to get a lot farther if you start communicating in the same language as your partner, because obviously we wouldn't get very far if I'm speaking English and you're speaking Arabic or German or Japanese. We might be able to discern some things, but overall we are not going to get the information we need without lots of miscommunication and frustration. So hopefully some of all that makes sense, and maybe figuring out your love languages will be as helpful to you as it was for me. Thanks again to KT1419 for the subscriber question, and if you have your own question or video topic you'd like to submit, then just make sure to leave a comment down below or fill out this super easy form on my website. And as always, remember that you can check me out on these other social media sites, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know the moment there's a new video. And I'll see you guys next Thursday. Bye!